Here's a question that I've had asked to me several times, so I thought I'd go ahead and do a brief video. This is a music school has budgeted to purchase 3 musical instruments. They plan to purchase a piano costing $3,000, a guitar costing $600, and a drum set costing $750. The mean cost for a piano is $4,000 with a standard deviation of $2,500. The mean cost for a guitar is $500 with a standard deviation of $250, and the mean cost for drums is $950 with a standard deviation of $100. And we're asked to enter our answers within 2 decimal places, so we definitely want to look at that as we're answering questions. So the first one, we're going to talk about the piano. We want to know how many standard deviations above or below the average piano cost is the piano. So we're looking at a piano for what, $3,000? Now the average cost was $4,000, it looks like. So I want to know the difference. So the average cost was $4,000 and we're going to pay $3,000. So I want the difference between $3,000 and $4,000. So we'll just subtract, and it's $1,000. Now I really didn't need to, I think we could figure that out. So that's the difference. Now I need to look at, well, what was the standard deviation for the piano? My standard deviation for the piano, I'll put a little P there for piano, and it looks like it was 2,500. Now we want to know how many standard deviations away from the mean is our what we're purchasing. So we looked at the difference between the mean and the cost, right? And if we notice, we're spending less, so that's going to be a decrease. So it's going to be below the average. We just need to figure out how much. Well, I take that 1,000 and divide it by whatever that standard deviation is. It happens to be 2,500. So 1,000 divided by 20, and we can do this we can cancel those zeros. I get 10 over 25, and then 5 goes into both of those, so we're looking at 2/5, and I think it wants a decimal, so 2 divided by 5 is going to be 0.4. So that would be our how many standard deviations above or below. Well, this is going to be 0.4 below the average cost. Okay, so that was the piano. So let's look at the next one. Here we're talking about a guitar. So let's go look at a guitar, and it says we're paying, it looks like they plan to purchase one that's $600. Okay, $600. And the cost, or the mean cost of a guitar, is $500. So let's take the difference of the two. Well, that's going to be $100. It looks like this time, instead of purchasing below the mean, we're purchasing above. So we're going to be above whatever the average was. We just need to figure out how much above. Again, what's the standard deviation of a guitar? It looks like it's 250. So we take the 250 and we take the 100 and divide by the 250. And again, we could use our calculator. Move it over here, and we could do, and again, don't be afraid to use your calculator if you want to. Well, maybe I will if this one will come on for me. There we go. We're going to take 100 divided by 250, all right, and we get 0.4. So that's good. All right, so we get 0.4. So we're going to be, this time, instead of being 0.4 standard deviations below, we're 0.4 standard deviations above the mean. Okay, so we're paying a little more. All right, let's go to the next question. And here we're talking about the average drum set. So again, the cost is going to be $750, what we plan to purchase. And then the mean for a drum set, we're in a drum set now, is $950. So let's take the difference between the two, which looks like $200. This time, are we going to be above or below? Well, since we're paying less than what the mean is, it's going to be below the average. Now, how many standard deviations below? Well, we're looking at a standard deviation of 100. All right, so we take 200, divide it by that standard deviation, and we get 2. So this time, we're going to be 2 standard deviations below the average. Now the next question is, which cost is the lowest when compared to other instruments of the same type? Well, you look at, say, first of all, which one's below. It could be either the piano or the drum set, but which one has the larger standard deviation? Well, that's going to be the drum set. And then which cost is the highest when compared to the other instruments? Well, that's the one that's above, and that's going to be the guitar, because it's above the cost of the other 2 instruments.